Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. How is everyone doing this evening? I just had to have a quick snack because I just finished mowing the lawn, and I needed to take care of that because I was starving. And yeah, so I'm still a little bit sweaty. I also, of course, had to shower beforehand too. But how is everyone doing? Enough about me and my weird day. Kim Can Park over on D-Lab, Patrick McDuff over on D-Lab, Poppyton over on D-Lab, Patrick McDuff over on D-Lab as well. How is it going to my peeps over there? Let's see over on my YouTube peeps. John Winkler, what's going on, John? He says, look out, John Wick, there's a new Batman coming to Gotham, and he sparkles. Allegedly, because as I reported just a couple days ago, they have not officially confirmed that unless something has changed since then, but he is definitely on the short list. Robert Pattinson's on the short list, but they have not officially confirmed it yet. It was something that was leaked to I think it was Variety or Hollywood Reporter, and those things aren't always official. So I'm going to wait for the official word on that, unless it's already happened while I was mowing the lawn and doing all the other crazy stuff throughout my day. Megazord! There's now a Megazord Jeremy account. That is wonderful. Megazord Jeremy says, Hail Odin, I am Megazord Jeremy, the most powerful Jeremy of all Jeremys. I am a combination of all the Jeremys. Holy crap. That does sound terrifying. It sounds absolutely terrifying. I would not want to mess with that. Mad Mitch, what's going on, bruv? Tina, how is it going? How's it going? And Tina, yes, thank you very much, Tina. Tina is reminding every single person that if you've heard any leaks for the final train wreck episode of Game of Thrones, please do not repeat them or you will be timed out. Yes, indeed, because there are some people who really do care. There are some people who still are grasping on hope that the last episode of Game of Thrones ever will be good. I kind of have lost that. I'm still definitely in that, cynical category because that's kind of in my nature, and I'm kind of just giving up on the entire series. But some people who watch do not or have not. And so out of respect for them, this will be a spoiler-free zone for future spoilers. If things have already happened, that, of course, I cannot protect you from. So we can talk about spoilers that have already happened in Game of Thrones. Obviously, John Wick Chapter 3, there's probably going to be some spoilers talked about tonight as well, because as you can see, that is going to be the main topic, is John Wick. But not just John Wick 3, the John Wick universe, and why I think the John Wick universe should be the template for almost all future franchises, because it is purely based on what the fans want, and it executes it very well. And I think that that is what the future of cinema needs to be. So, Mad Mitch, hello. Sisha Neon says, Odin's alive. What's going on, bruv? Stephanie B is here as well. Tech Guy is here. Let's see. Kalia the Cinema Queen. What's going on, Cinema Queen? How is it going? How is it going? Sasha Neon says, blowing the fawn, sowing the dawn, crowning the pawn. Yes, indeed. You are correct. You are correct. You are very correct, my friends. Rosetta Allen. Rosetta Allen, what's going on? It says, it's raining like hell. Hope your day is rocking. My day is rocking. It's not raining yet, but the rain is on the way. The Senate says, time to praise that John Wick 3 because it was so damn good, Senate. You are so right. It was so damn good. It was seriously the epitome of action filmmaking, I would say. I mean, honestly, over the last 10 years, there are two movies now. Beforehand, I was going to say Mission Impossible 6 was the best action film I had ever seen. Until John Wick 3. John Wick 3 has now taken the cake about as far as action films over the last 10 years. Maybe not of all time, but of the last 10 years, as far as practical effects go, man, John Wick 3 knocks it out of the park and actually knocks off Mission Impossible 6, which even in and of itself has some awesome sequences, seeing that you have Tom Cruise, who's freaking 50 years old, still doing his own stunts, flying copters, and oh my god, so crazy. Tina says, staying cool, and all have been warned about the leaks. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Slicer Neon says, I got that one already. Greta, what's going on, Greta Zanner? Hello, everyone, and Odin. Hello, Greta. And guys, go check out Greta's channel. She's awesome. But also, go check out The Rookie Critic. The Rookie Critic had Greta on a stream, and I was only able to watch a little bit of it, but it was fantastic because they're both awesome people. So go check out The Rookie Critic. The Rookie Critic, and check out the video of the interview he did with Greta because both of them are amazing and beautiful people. Yes, that's right. They are both beautiful people. They are both beautiful Asgardians. Beats with Angel says, Odin. Yeah, the Wick 3 is amazing, and now it's time to talk and debate about the trilogy. No, seriously, and I think the biggest debate is going to be whether or not should it stay a trilogy or should it continue. I've got some new thoughts on that because I had some thoughts going before because obviously we didn't really know how the movie John Wick 3 was going to end, whether or not it was going to try and end on a sense of closure or leave it open-ended, and we'll talk about that in a little bit when I finally officially open it up to John Wick 3 spoilers, just in case anyone is still trying to avoid it for any reason. But yeah, it is something that I think is a worthy discussion because I think there's going to be people on multiple sides, but I am very firmly on one, and I will not tell you which one I'm on just quite yet. Though I'm sure if you watch my videos and you watch my reviews, you kind of know where I stand. G Monkey, what's going on? G Monkey says saw John Wick 3 today, and it might be the favorite one. Only one part I didn't like in it. Yeah, I mean, I think that here's the thing with the John Wick films, though. Every single one of them has something different and has something special about it. To me, John Wick 1 is just the most, I guess, it's the most lean story. It's the best as far as being able to tell a story, not wasting any time, not wasting any breath, and it's all just very succinct, well put together. And of course, it gets everything going. It's an origin story, and origin stories are always great. John Wick 2, I think, has the best story, the best background, the best lore, because you find out more about the Continental, you find more about the High Table, you find more about all these behind-the-scenes elements that are actually really interesting. And as much as I love John Wick and Keanu Reeves and his portrayal of the character, I'm also just as interested as all of that behind-the-scenes stuff. And so John Wick 2 focuses more, dives deeper into that lore. While John Wick 3, I think, is the best action film out of all of them. And I thought that was going to be hard to beat because John Wick 2 has that one sequence where he's like running through like the catacombs and he has all of his guns placed and he's just picking one up, firing off, running off to the next one, picking it up, firing it off, and it's awesome. But I must say, 20 minutes into John Wick 3, this knife fight scene they have where there are knives flying everywhere and you believe, honestly, that these knives are going into these actors because they just do such a great job of choreographing them and using just practical effects. It's beautiful. So no, I agree. I think that John Wick 3 is the strongest when it comes to action sequences, but I definitely think that the other two are stronger in other areas. So I think that all three of them complement each other very well. They're all good. All three of them are excellent. I would never say, oh yeah, you can skip this one. You know, sometimes there's a trilogy or there's a series and you say to yourself, it's good, but you could skip it. I can't think of any John Wick film that I would say skip because John Wick 1's awesome, John Wick 2's awesome, and John Wick 3's awesome. It's just all three of them are so much good. Sticky V says, I really want to thank you for inspiring me to watch the John Wick movies, including Chapter 3. I love them so freaking much. Well, Sticky V, so very glad to hear that, man. And if anyone else has never seen the John Wick movies, I highly recommend them because they are fantastic. If you like action films, if you like practical effects, if you like stunt teams, if you like choreography, those are the movies for you, man, because they're that damn good. They are so awesome. Let us see what we got here. Chat jumped to me over on YouTube, so let me head back over to the D-Lab. Kim Cam Park, what's going on? What's going on over there? Poppy Den says, John Wick is the best standing franchise. I agree. The best standing franchise right now, John Wick 3. I cannot think of another franchise currently still actively going as far as movies are concerned that would be better or that I would like better. Let's see. All right, that's a very crappy name you have there. He says, I feel like John Wick 3 wasted quite a lot of time. So, Hater, I would not say it wasted time. I honestly, if you're talking about the slower moments, I think that those slower moments are kind of necessary because they help to develop the characters more. They help to give you a little bit more of the behind the scenes. And if you're going to try and tell me there's not enough action in that film, I'm so sorry, but you would be very, very poorly mistaken. CPU Geek says, John Wick seems to be the best storyline since Star Wars for me. It is a pretty damn good storyline. It is a pretty darn good storyline. K-Man is seeing it Monday. Cannot wait for you to see it because it is absolutely fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic. All right. So that's about my D-Lab people. Let me head back over to my YouTube peeps. All right. So Soul Assassin says, hello, thought you'd like to know. I saw 3 dudes dressed as John Wick when I saw the film the other day. Nice guys. Yes, so good. So awesome. Yeah, John Wick has one of the coolest and most slick suits out there. It's fantastic. Megazord Jeremy says, Hail Odin, our Lord Odin should play Batman because that way we have a Batman who cares about the fans. I mean, if they would let me, I would. But no, I think, you know what? Even though I think that it might have a lot of issues to it, let's do Keanu Reeves, Batman. Do it. Let's happen. Because at least he'll do his choreography. At least he'll do his own stunts. At least he'll be a badass. Just going to say it. Now, the only thing that could keep him from being a great Batman is the fact that he can't kill anybody. And I mean, come on, Keanu Reeves. He's got to be able to do that. And Batman doesn't kill. No matter what. Certain people, certain directors, certain people that, in my opinion, destroyed the DC universe. Or at least got it off on a really terrible foot. I'm not a Zack Snyder fan. Oh no, now I'm going to get attacked by the Zack Snyder people. Yeah, please no spamming hater because, in fact, you know what? I really don't like that name in the first place. So, boom. There you go. You're gone. You're gone, bud. Sorry. That name was very offensive to me because it was against a certain race of people, and I think that was ridiculous. Yeah. No, I don't have any patience for that. No patience for that at all. No patience at all. We do not hate any people of any race or any background here. John Winkler says, the fanboy in you was convincing. I've spent today watching chapter 1 and 2 again. I'm sorry as I'm leaving early for chapter 3 showing tonight. Have a good night, sir. John Winkler, great to hear that, man. I hope you enjoyed both of those chapters, and I hope that you enjoyed chapter 3 because it is so damn good. Cupcake Geek, let's see, says, I watched your most underrated movies of 2019 today, and about Paddington 2 here in the UK, he's a classic children's character. Yeah, especially when I talk about anything that's underrated or overrated, I'm talking specifically about based on the American audiences and the American response, and so that's the reason why I put that on my list, because it was actually really good. It was fantastic. I had never heard of Paddington before until the movie started, and so I think that it was awesome. It was great. Stephanie B says, no John Wick spoilers, please. Stephanie B, what are you talking about? If you really cared about spoilers, you would have seen it opening night, like I did, all right? If you're a true fan, if you're a true John Wick fan, you would have seen it already. It's not like it was Endgame where you couldn't see it, like they were sold out of every single showing. It did well. I mean, my theater was pretty packed with people, which made me very happy. The villain's going to make between like $55 and $60 million and actually come out number 1 this weekend. I'm very excited about that. Very excited. Demanjanai, what's going on, Demanjanai? I saw your name in there. Taylor Potter says Keanu Reeves needs to come back and play Constantine again. He was great as Constantine. I don't care what anyone says about that film. I love that movie. Seriously, I love the lore, and I'm sure people are going to say, oh, well, the comic's better, and I'm sure you're right. But as someone that's not a comic book reader, I love the lore of having angels and demons influencing people in our lives. I just love that. I love that kind of stuff. It's fascinating. It really is. The Senate says, favorite moment from John Wick Chapter 3. I mean, come on. The Senate. Are you kidding me, man? Are you kidding me? All right, to be honest, it is a little hard to choose just one, but I will say this much. My favorite you're going to love this one. My favorite John Wick Chapter 3 scene by the edge of a knife is the knife scene, because let's just be honest, it was amazing. There's a part in that scene where normally in films, whenever there's like a knife that's like close to an eye, you know how normally they just like cut away and then maybe if it happens, they'll have the sound and whatever. I mean, no. They don't even do that. They have it. I still don't know how they did it. I was watching it and I was like, how did they do that? How did they pull that off? Because there's a dude and it's a real dude and it looks like a real knife. And then all of a sudden they don't cut away and it's in the eye. And I'm like, yes. There were so many moments and my audience was great too. They were very active. And so there were plenty of times where all of us were just going, oh man, oh no, oh crap, man, yeah. That was great. Oh man, it was so great. So I would say the knife fight sequence was fantastic. However, coming in very close at number 2 is when Halle Berry and her dogs are going to town. That scene is also great because I will say, this film has now converted me on Halle Berry. You guys have heard it from me. I've never been a fan of Halle Berry. I thought that she has always been a person that's kind of dragged down movies, almost ruined franchises. But I will tell you this much. She did her homework. She did everything that she had to do. She worked her ass off. She was so freaking awesome. And it was great. Like, seriously. And it was awesome. And I'm so happy that they got her in there because of the fact that she was willing to put forth that effort and to actually train and to actually learn how to use all of these things was just great. Again, I have to commend her. I really do. So those would be my 2 favorite scenes. And guys, anyone that's like, oh, no spoilers, dude, you're in a stream called The John Wick Universe Reigns Supreme. I mean, if you're not expecting spoilers here, I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, I could put spoiler warning in here, but it should seem pretty obvious at this point that we're going to be talking about it in whatever way we can. Greta says, thank you. No problem, Greta. You are that awesome. So there's no need to thank you. It's just fact. It's just truth. I only speak the truth. Let's see what we got here today. All right, caught up in the chat over on YouTube's. The Senate says, I like the museum scene in John Wick 3. It's so good. Yes, it is. Beast of Angel says, 2 has the lore and world building, but the problem is part 2 is like John Wick 1.5. OMG, the first fight in the movie sets the brutality tone for the rest of the movie. It is so good. The fight scene, the knife fight scene in the beginning of John Wick 3 is fantastic. Tina says, looking at you. I'm looking at you, Tina. I'm looking at you, Tina. Don't look at me. Jim Monkey says, and the dogs were amazing in John Wick 3. Yes, they were. They got actual dogs. They didn't CGI any of it. They didn't do any CGI stupidity. And it was trained dogs. They were actually dogs trained. And guess what? Halle Berry became a dog trainer. That was her giving the commands and the dogs following her command. That is awesome. It is so cool to see actors actually doing the things that they're supposed to be doing on screen. Actually doing the flippity stuff. doing the tosses and doing all the really cool, all the sequences of them shooting a gun. They went into the field to practice how to shoot a gun, how to reload. It's so good. Seriously, you guys know I'm a stickler for CGI, and I love practical effects. It's one of the many reasons why I'm very excited about The Mandalorian, because The Mandalorian is utilizing practical effects to like the T, and like every way possible, as much as it possibly can. This movie is almost 90% plus practical effects, non-CGI, and it is so good. I want to see it. I want to see this movie like 1,000 times. This might be the movie that is, summer's starting. My last full day of school was yesterday, and now we're going into exams the following this coming week, and so I get off early. I'm very tempted to go see John Wick like at least 2 times this week. I want to see some other stuff too, so that way I can talk about other movies that come out. But John Wick 3 is definitely something that I'm going to see more than once. No question about it. But yeah, the dogs were great. Kudos. Shout out to the dogs. Shout out to the hounds of John Wick. Orange Eye Review says, I do love Winston's relationship with Wick. You can tell it broke his heart to declare him excommunicado in John Wick 2. You can see it in his eyes. It was very hard for him to make that call. And that's what I love too, is because you have these background characters that are being added into the story, and all of them you just love. You want to find out more about them. Like seriously, there's just so many great, and not even just Winston. I keep forgetting the character's name, but the one that essentially runs the front desk at the Continental that John Wick goes to. I love, that actor. I love him. Ever since Fringe, I've loved that character. I love that actor, and I just love seriously, all I can think of every time I see him now is just like, good evening, Mr. Wick. Like just having that accent. Hello, Mr. Wick. It's so good. It's so good. All right, heading over to my D-Live people. Boonaman, what's going on? CXCCN, what's going on? He's saying, stop spoiling John Wick 3. Hey, I'm sorry, so very sorry. Barack Obama, 09. Hey, what's going on, Obama? Hope you're enjoying retirement. CSCN says, I'm going to give you something. Oh, thanks for the lemon. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm sure I'm butchering the way that I should pronounce your name, but I appreciate that, man. Captain Fez says, Hail, Ja, I'm with you, Odin brother. God is regardless of which God is yours. Thank you, man. Poppy Dan, thank you for the 2 lemons. I appreciate that very, very much so. Wesnat speaks like Ben Shapiro, just with a beard and a cool hat. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Wesnat, thank you for the ice cream. I appreciate that. Speaking of Ben Shapiro, you know how he talks very fast? I talk very fast too. And I think that you'll like to know that I'm doing a show right now, because y'all know this. I do musical theater. And so I just recently got cast as the role of Harold Hill from the show The Music Man. And if you know anything about the song called Trouble, first off, look up the version done by, why am I blanking out on his name right now? I really shouldn't, because he's fantastic. He's in the Orville. I don't know why I'm blanking out on his name. Seth MacFarlane. There's a version that Seth MacFarlane does of Trouble, and it's beautiful. It's fantastic. So he's going to be like my spirit animal as I perform that role. So I'm going to... But if you know anything about that song, you know it's a lot of tongue-twisting words said at a very constant clip. So it's going to put my fast-speaking ability to the test. However, I have to memorize lines, and so it's going to be a little bit harder for me to do so. But I have faith. I have faith indeed. Poppy 10. I haven't seen cool work like this series since old Kung Fu films. Dude, yeah, the original old school Kung Fu films are great. CM Chunk. Yeah! I love CM Punk. So the fact that your name is CM Chunk is great. Oh, man. And it's a chunky CM Punk. That's great. Oh, that's great. K-Man, thank you very much, man. And Boastful Spoon. Oh, yeah. Rocking it with the cool psychedelic. Patrick Beduff says, I love the Seth MacFarlane version. Dude, it's so freaking good. It's so good. Let's see. Back to the YouTube peeps. The Senate says, Cobra Kai or John Wick trilogy? I never watched Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is fantastic, but John Wick, easily. John Wick has better choreography. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do like Cobra Kai, but other than episode 10, season 2, there really isn't any like balls to the wall fight. John Wick chapters 1, 2, and 3 all have balls to the wall fighting, and it's fantastic. It is so good. Seriously. I am very tempted, because I have both John Wick 1 and 2 on Blu-ray. I'm very tempted to watch them again very soon, because, God, they're so good. Man, oh man. Saxo Neon says, I could accept Mr. Sparkly Vampire if he was a Terry McGinnis for a Batman Beyond movie. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I always say that you can never tell for sure whether an actor, especially one like him, where he's good in those independent indie type roles. Talking here about Robert Pattinson. For me, it's just that he's not bulky. Obviously, he can gain weight. He can gain weight. Obviously, that's something that's possible. But I just think that they should, as I said in my video, they should be focusing on trying to get their DC universe set up. and make it clear what they're doing. Because so far it's been very much, oh, well, we're not really going to be like the MCU, or, oh, we're not really going to do that, but we're going to have movies that are still connected. And it's just very confusing because it's left with, okay, does Man of Steel still hold? Does BVS still hold? Does Justice League still hold? Are you going to be recasting, rebooting certain people? I mean, Suicide Squad. They are rebooting Suicide Squad, kind of, sort of, because it's not a sequel, according to them, but they're using some of the same actors. So, again, they need to get that stuff fixed before they cast anyone as Batman. Just saying. Tina says, some of us have lives. Thank you, sir. I have a life. I had to go to school the next day. And you bet your ass that I still saw John Wick Chapter 3. And I'm very glad I didn't run to any of my students, because then I would have been like, as much as I appreciate your taste in film, you should not be seeing this movie right now as a sophomore in high school. Let's see. This sentence says, Keanu Reeves would make a great Flashpoint Batman. Flashpoint Batman is Thomas Wayne, and he uses guns. Ooh, I do like that. I would like Keanu Reeves as almost anything, to be honest. Keanu Reeves is awesome. Not just because he's great at doing his own stunts and stuff, but the fact that he's a good guy. Seriously, there's YouTube videos dedicated to how nice of a guy Keanu Reeves is. He's such a good guy. This is the dude that takes public transportation, will get up to allow for an older woman to sit down. A pregnant woman to sit down is actually the video that they show. When he did, I think, the first John Wick, or one of the action films that he did, he used his paycheck and decided to buy his entire stunt team, like all like Harley Davidsons, like all like really expensive vehicles. And I'm thinking to myself, this dude's awesome. He reminds me a lot of Paul Walker. You know, Paul Walker, I think they're both good examples too. Like Paul Walker and Keanu Reeves, not really known for being the best actors, you know, and they're not known for being that, oh man, I went to the Academy and I have an Oscar now. Though I would love, to be honest, if Keanu Reeves ever won an Oscar, I mean, I would just be so happy. Oh, dude, guys, man, really? I'd be like, yes. That would be, I'll tell you this much. You know how we do the Wednesday Raven Awards here on this channel? Keanu Reeves is getting a lot of nominations for this year's Raven Awards. I'm just saying it right now. John Wick 3 is getting a lot of Raven Award nominations. I guarantee it. Because he's just so good. But speaking again, kind of because, you know me, I have ADD, so I go all over the place. But going back to that comparison between Paul Walker and Keanu Reeves, the one thing they had in common was that they're both just good people. They're both just really nice people. Where I remember Paul Walker when he was, you know, God rest his soul, he was in New Orleans filming a movie. And me and my friends, we were out. It was at a Fridays, a TGI Fridays, so just a chain restaurant. And he was there sitting on the bar. And the whole time, my friend, who was a really big fan of Fast and Furious, was like nudging me saying, dude, I think that's Paul Walker. That's Paul Walker. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, no, I'm not sure. And so, of course, I failed in my movie expertise. I failed in recognizing him in real life. And sure enough, when he left and we asked the bartender, hey, was that Paul Walker? And he was like, yeah, he's been coming in ever since he's been in town. And he like tipped very well, was talking to people, like seriously, I think that every actor in Hollywood needs to take their cues from Keanu Reeves and from people like Paul Walker, because in all honesty, they're good people, and actors can be good people. You don't have to be an ass for being rich. Let's go to some super chats. JJ, thank you very much for the super chat. Says, just saw John Wick 3, amazing movie, my favorite so far. Awesome, JJ. I definitely think that the action is the best. So as I said before, all three are strong for different reasons. And so if I had to give an award to John Wick 3, it would be best action sequences by far. Because nothing's going to beat, none of the other John Wick films are going to be able to beat that knife fight sequence. And I would even throw in the dogfight sequence as well, because it's just so good. Because you have dogs that are trained and doing this all in real time. And that takes a lot of time, and a lot of effort. And the fact that you had Halle Berry become a dog trainer to do that is just, Halle Berry, you are now a goddess. You are now a goddess among the pantheon in Asgard. Entertainment Hacker, thank you so much for your donation. I really appreciate that. Jedi Sage Monk, super chat for John Wick. Thank you very much, Jedi Sage Monk, for that Aussie $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. K-Man says, congrats on the show. Thank you very much, man. CM Chunk says, watched you on YouTube and Geeks Gamers, so seeing you on D-Live, also a good thing. Well, CM Chunk, thank you very much, man. I always do like my punk chunky. I don't know where I was going with that. Flames 1107. Again, and now I'm over on the D-Live. I think I will have to go rent John Wick 2 and then go watch John Wick 3 because Odin being so pumped for it. I mean, seriously, I think that you would be doing yourself a favor. And actually, I would say just buy it. Just buy it, and if you hate it, Flames 1107. If you buy John Wick 2 and you hate it, come back to me when we're doing another stream on D-Live and just be like, hey, remember you said this? If you buy John Wick Chapter 2 and you do not like it and you hate it, message me and I'll get your money back. That's how confident I am. I'm not going to do that for everyone, but because you are because you're saying that, Flames, I am that confident that you will like John Wick 2. Bad Hammy, good day, Aiden. Good day, Bad Hammy. How is it going? How is it going, indeed? CPU Geek says another actor that I like is Vin Diesel. Yeah, me too. I think that I don't really know enough about Vin Diesel to be able to say one way or the other, but he seems like a cool dude. And also, since DLive is now getting a little bit more hopping than usual, so again, 24 people over there, if you want me to read a comment or to answer a question, just put Odin or at Odin at the beginning of your sentence, and then I'll know that you want to talk to me. And the K-Man, thank you very much for the lemon. I appreciate it. All right, heading back over to my YouTube peeps. Clark Kent. Woo, Clark Kent, what's going on, man? Says, you looking forward to Brightburn? I actually have not seen the trailer for Brightburn yet. It's been talked about nonstop. It's been debated by a lot of people, but there have just been so many other things going on. You had Endgame. You had, of course, all the nonsense with Captain Marvel. You now have John Wick. I mean, there's been so many other things going on that it's kind of just gotten lost in the shuffle. But Brightburn, is it already out? It might already be out near me. If it's not out near me right now, then it's about to be out in the next couple weeks, I think. I could be totally off on that. Let me check. Godzilla King of the Monsters. Already got my ticket. 4 p.m. A 4 p.m. show, guys. I'm seeing it this Thursday at 4 p.m. IMAX. I'm seeing Godzilla King of the Monsters, and I'm so pumped. Got to see it on the biggest screen because, I mean, come on. It's Godzilla. Godzilla deserves the biggest and the best. All right, let's see. Is Brightburn currently playing near me? And I'm sure people in the chat are being like, no, it comes out here. It comes out here. You guys know I fall behind the chat. Yeah, it's not up right now. Maybe it's this coming, because I know I saw it recently. I know I saw it on my list. Yeah, Brightburn comes out next week, and it's getting a Dolby release. Interesting. Hour and a half. Okay, very cool. What if a child from another world crash landed on Earth? Oh, yeah, this is the one where if Superman goes bad, essentially, is the plot, even though it's not actually... Is it a comic? Is it a comic? Is it based off a comic, or is it just someone decided to write a story of something very similar to Superman, but decided to instead make it a something else? So... let's see, the K-Man, thank you for the lemon. CM Chunk, thank you for the ice cream over on D-Live. Poppyton, after John Wick, Godzilla was the night. Yeah, so for Poppyton, Godzilla was the next movie on their list. It's the same for me. I kind of have to see Aladdin, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to work some of my movie magic and buy a ticket to something that deserves it. You know what? Actually, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make sure that John Wick gets my movie and that I somehow see Aladdin, allegedly, and then I'll be able to come back and let you guys know how good or bad it is. Apparently, it's getting good early buzz, but again, Stephanie B says, "Don't be sassy. I'm poor and have to wait till Tuesday." Stephanie B, you know that if you need me to get you a ticket, I'll get you a ticket, Steph. I'll take care of my Valkyrie. You know this. And Tina, I did not forget about the movie that I was supposed to send you. Unfortunately, it's no longer available at the place that I was going to buy it from, so we might have to wait. That was for Vampire. We're going to have to wait on that. But seriously, Steph, if there's a day earlier, like tonight or tomorrow, that you would like to see it, and if you want to see it in the biggest screen possible, let me know. I will buy your ticket. Steph, I will buy your ticket to it on the biggest and best. My Valkyrie, they deserve the biggest and the best because they are the best. They're the best around. No one's ever gonna keep them down. All right. YouTube is crazy. All right. 70. Tina says, la, 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 la. Stop the spoilers. La, 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 la. I mean, there's really, as far as like spoilers, like to me, a spoiler is like a plot. Plot spoilers to me are the only things that are actually worth talking about as far as it being called a spoiler. Everything else is just this happens, and it shouldn't be that much of a surprise. I guess the one thing I'll keep off for now until maybe the end of the discussion is how the movie ends, because I think that would be something that people would be interested in, because obviously it's John Wick, you know, kicking butt, kicking ass and taking names, and people want to know what happens to him. Orange Hat Review says the knives that stuck in the head and such are actually CG. It's just gotten that good. Well, Orange, I figured that it was CG, but the fact that they were able to use real life people, and also they use some practical effects to make it. I mean, this goes back to the discussion. You know, what is the best form and best use of CGI? It's in conjunction with practical. That's why, still to this day, one of the best CGI films of all time is what? Jurassic Park. Because Jurassic Park used both CG and also practical, and used practical for the most part, and only used CG when they absolutely had to. The problem with modern filmmaking, and this is really getting into the bigger discussion about John Wick's universe reigning supreme, is that now modern day film, Modern day film is all about, we need to use nothing but CGI. It's CGI first. Oh, can we make that CGI? Not, oh, can we hire the people that we need to be able to put some badass stuff and badass sequences happen on screen? We don't get that. We don't get that anymore. And it's just so frustrating. And that's why movies like John Wick are like a palate cleanser. Because you went to go see Endgame. And Endgame has some pretty cool sequences, but for the most part, it was CGI. And then you go to John Wick and you're like, oh man, these are real actors actually. And wait, that is Keanu, because he just did a flip and you could see that it's his face the entire time. They don't cut away. You can always tell. Ooh, sorry. So very sorry. Oh, so sorry. Hit the microphone. So sorry. But you can always tell whenever there is whenever there's a change in character, whenever there's someone who's going to use a stunt person, you can always tell because they always do some type of quick cut. Or you can tell their face is distorted. They don't do that. They show their face. You can tell that Halle Berry is doing these freaking roles, doing the hip toss and all this. God, I want to see it again. I need to see it again. I need to. Oh boy, here we go. Let's see, hold on. Sticky V says, how about that flipping the cross and burning it in his back? This movie has so many fantastic moments. Oh no, that part was, oh God, yes. Tina says, reload with a magazine. Yes, thank you, Tina. So in my initial review for John Wick, people were getting on my ass because I did not use the proper gun terminology. Let me make it clear, guys. I am all pro, like, Second Amendment. I think you have the right to bear arms. I believe in that. I am just not that type of person. I do not personally feel comfortable. It's funny that I'm loving this film that has, like, nothing but guns and is using, like, real world, like, physics and using actual counting. And is not just saying, oh yeah, they've got 1,000 bullets and they never have to reload. But it's so funny because people who should be able to tell by the very fact that I made that mistake, Tina, that I'm not a gun person, were like ripping me to shreds in my comments saying, you said that they reload with this, but the actual term is this. Do you even know what guns are? And I'm like, no, I don't. The only thing I've ever shot in my life is a BB gun when I was a Boy Scout. And it's not because I think they're evil. It's just I'm personally not comfortable with it. That's just me. That is just me. And if you are, hey, mad props to you. Mad respect. I believe in self-defense. But I just personally, and that's why I could never join the Army. I mean, seriously, if I would love to join the Army just to have that, sense of having my brother's back to defend them. But I personally, the point that I could never get to would be to shoot another person, to take another person's life. As you all know, I'm a Catholic. And part of my faith is I do not feel comfortable taking another person's life. And I know that there's obviously situations where it's kind of the only choice that you have, or it's a hard choice to make. But it's just not me. It's just not in me. And so, yeah, but it was so funny that people were just like driving, like, oh my gosh, you just said this wrong. You just said it wrong. And it's like, I appreciate you for correcting me, but I'm still not going to know what's what. Let's see. The Senate says, I love the dogs, and it's better because they're German Shepherds, and I love German Shepherds. I do, too, because Willow, couch puppy, who's almost always here, they're sleeping right now, but she is a German Shepherd mix, so yeah, they're pretty great. G-Monkey says, the battle in the Continental might be my favorite than the knife fight. Hey, and I respect that. The fight in the Continental in John Wick 2 is great, but the knife fight, to me, is just that much better. I mean, they're all great. Seriously, they're all great. All of these fight sequences are great. So trying to say which one's better or worse, it's just, okay, it's like, it's like lemons and ice cream over on D-Live for my D-Live people. Don't worry, I see you guys, and for the ones that are tagging me, thank you. I will get y'all's comments in a second when I jump back over. Joe K470 says, I still say Angela Bassett would have made a better Storm for X-Men movies than Barry. Well, here's the thing. Even though I'm, supporting Halle Berry now, that doesn't mean that I take back the things about the movies that she was in at the time, because those movies are still bad. Like, her performances are still bad. I still don't think she was a great Storm, personally. But I will say that my thought of, oh, she will never be good in anything, which is what my thought was for a very long time, that is now completely gone because she found her calling in this film. And apparently her next project is an MMA film, and she's already starting to train for MMA. And so since I know that she can do this role, since I know that she will take the time and the attention and the care to learn this stuff, I think that she'll do great in that. She has to be used the correct way. No actor is meant to be the star. Not every actor is meant to be the emotional powerhouse. And I just don't think that she does the emotional stuff very well. When she won her Oscar, I was like, I don't really think that it was that good. It reminds me a lot of the performance from Boyhood, from oh my goodness, I forget her name every time. But when she won for Best Actress, I was cringing because if you ever watched the movie Boyhood, she's awful. Her performance is cringeworthy. And so I think that was my thought about Halle Berry for a long time. But this has now made me respect her in an entirely new light. Laura, what's going on? Laura says, I thought you were going to say you got cast as Ben Shapiro. Laura, here's what we need to do. We need to get the Fandom Menace, the Fandom Collective, all of the fandoms together. We need to find someone who can write a musical. We need to write Ben Shapiro the musical. It doesn't matter where you fall politically, because I think anyone can understand that you can make comedic gold with a musical called Ben Shapiro the Musical. And then if you need someone cast as Ben Shapiro, I really couldn't, because I'm not short and because I'm not Jewish, and so that kind of creates a bit of a problem. But if you need someone to do some voice work, oh man, keep in mind this. So I listen to a bunch of people because I believe in independence. I believe in hearing different perspectives. And so I'll listen to podcasts. And one of the podcasts that sometimes I listen to is Ben Shapiro's. I listen to him on 1.5 speed. And there are people that I know that have to listen to me on like 0.5 speed because they can't keep up. I have to listen to Ben Shapiro, who speaks, I would say, even faster than I do on 1.5, sometimes 2. So Kalia the Cinema Queen says, I didn't like the bald girl in John Wick 3. She was very wooden. What did you not like about John Wick 3? There really isn't a whole lot I didn't like. I would say that it was maybe a hair too long for what it was. And someone was saying before that there were some slow parts, and I agree. But I thought the slow parts were, for the most part, done pretty well. But there were a couple of scenes that they could have, cut off a little bit of time for. But I actually didn't like, I didn't mind the bald girl. And the reason why is because her character was helping us to better understand the Thai table, what they were, what their game was, and I think that she's going to play a greater role for the future of whatever the John Wick universe goes from here. And that's not saying one way or the other, because we all knew John Wick was going to continue in some way or the other because they've already got the Continental show in the running. They've already talked about how they'll continue to make movies in this universe for as long as the fans want it. So that's not really spoiling anything. That's just telling everyone what the creators have already said. And so if she needed to be wooden in this and to be just very frozen, I think that it served a purpose. Now, some people might say, oh, but you were being critical of Brie Larson for her wooden performance, but that's also because that was a very different character with a very different position. She was the lead character, and lead characters who you're supposed to get behind can't be wooden. Background characters who are meant to be menacing, who are meant to be representing the shadow government that we don't really know a whole lot about, they can be wooden and it can work. And so personally, I was okay with it. Laura says, he is very model of a modern spoiler general. Spoiler general? I'm not a spoiler general. What are you talking about? All right, let me head over to my D-Live people because they've been very, very patient. All right, so I got the CM Chunk donation. So Captain F-Head says, Hollywood films set in Europe fee cheap. I'm European. Feel cheap. I'm European. Hope John Wick 3 goes back to the USA. Wait, what? What are you talking about? What do you talk? Mr. Peabody says, the problem with John Wick 3 is all these elite assassins don't know how to kill someone. That's objective. Peabody, you are correct. But from the first film, and this is why context is key, from the first film, they established that John Wick is OP. That John Wick is the best in the business and that everyone fears him. So they basically made it clear that this is the kind of guy that could do the things that he's doing. I mean, obviously you need to suspend disbelief, but I think for me at the very least, and again, we can disagree on this, but for me, because they already set that up in the first film, there's no need for them to have to continue to mention it. Poppyton says, for the eye shot, they did something similar with Zombie. Ah, interesting. Captain F-Head says, Battinson will suck. He can act. Plus, I welcome Detective Batman, but he's not a superhero. He must be built. All right, he can't act. I think that he can. No. I think that Robert Pattinson can act. The problem is that he's chosen some really bad roles. Twilight didn't help him. He was awful in Twilight. That was bad performance. But he's done some indie stuff. I would recommend. There was a movie called Good Time. I think it's called Good Time or Good Times. And I never got to see the actual movie itself, but from the trailer alone, he was giving an amazing performance. And so I think it really depends on what he's in, Air Trofix, thank you for the follow. Sikis Kenkis, thank you very much for the follow. CPU Gig says, more power to you. More people need to understand that about weapons. No, very true. And that's why I love it too, because, and here's why my respect for Halle Berry has just skyrocketed. Because instead of her being a typical liberal in Hollywood and saying, oh no, I can't touch guns, she said, no, I want to be educated. I want to learn how to use a gun safely. I want to learn how to do these things. And now she knows how to use a gun. She's now learned a life skill and she was able to use it in the actual movie. She also became a dog trainer. She learned a life skill and was able to apply it to the movie. That is awesome. Those are actors portraying characters, but also are doing real things. And for movies like this, you kind of need that sense of reality in order for it to stick. Bad Hammy, thank you very much for the lemon. I appreciate it. And remember, guys, and also for anyone that's a mod, so K-Man and Peabody, since they're the two names that I see right now, please let me know, or please let the people in the chat know that if they have a question or if they want me to say anything, please just have them tag Odin at Odin. And I'll let you guys know that just putting at Odin pops up for me. So not even just at Odin's movie blog, just at Odin, Odin, works for me. Just like with Mr. Peabody I just did. So Mr. Peabody says, don't get me wrong, John Wick 3 I enjoyed, but it was not great. Die Hard was much better. And again, that's definitely a preferential thing. I personally like John Wick 3 better, but I've also only seen it once. I need to see it again. And obviously opinions can adapt and change over time. But what I can come away with is that John Wick 3 is definitely not a bad movie, and that it is one that is worth seeing and worth getting your money. Captain F-Head says, lots of franchises end up in Europe when studios want money but don't want to spend. Sequels in Europe feel cheap. Oh, okay, gotcha. So talking about like filming in Europe. Yeah, I mean, overall though, to be honest, I think that if I'm getting a good movie, like that's what I come away with. You know, if John Wick is good and it continues to be as good as it is, I'm okay with wherever it films. All right, head back over to my YouTube peeps. So, Michael Hand, thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate it. No message, but thank you for the super chat. Lee the Latin, my Australian brother. Thank you for the Aussie $2. Says, don't worry, Odin, I am soiled, so I'll fight for you. Well, Lethal, thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right, Random Nerd of Doom says, there I have defeated Megazord Jeremy. All hail the Random Nerd of Doom. Have you now? I didn't see any of that battle going on. Taylor Potter says, John Wick is basically on his own level. Yep, there's no one else that can reach that level. Rosetta Allen says, in regards to Mr. Sparkle Vamp, whether someone loves or hates him, the voice, the face, the style, the build, everything about him screams not Batman. Yeah, but so many people said some similar things about Heath Ledger, and I know that I listened to Gary Nerdrotic stream about this when he said that it wasn't as bad as people remember. It was not as bad as what's going on right now with Robert Pattinson, I will say, but it was pretty bad because people were saying, wait, the dude from A Knight's Tale, he couldn't be a villain. And so I'll say that actors can surprise you. Actors can turn that, like there's a switch that they can turn on and they can become a character more easily than you would think. Grandmaster Yoda says, John Wick was good and you can have fun alone with the friends, but you are out of your mind if you show it to kids. Yeah, definitely do not show it to kids. Not for kids. It earns its R rating. The Senate says, reboot for Suicide Squad. No, the first one was crap and already. Exactly. Why are you rebooting something that already sucks? Soul Assassin says, a friend of mine works at a gun store and he said they like the John Wick films because their sales go up for a while. Not only does it probably help their sales, but also it helps people see how they actually work. Because instead of it just being, I have a handgun and now all of a sudden it's shooting off 1,000 rounds, it's, oh, I only have so many rounds and now I need to reload with the clip. Is that the terminology? Did I do good? Did I do good, Tina? Did I? Tina says, live happy if you have any questions. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Megazord Jeremy says, Keanu Reeves should play Odin in a movie, and he tells Random Nerd of Boom to bite him. Ooh, it's getting feisty in the chat right now. G-Monkey says, not to change the subject, but people already want Kristen Stewart to play Catwoman for the fan fiction. Good God, please no. Oh, let's keep those two away from each other. Rosetta Allen says, tell G-Monkey that if she plays Catwoman, Eartha Kitt will be spinning in her grave. Worst idea ever. Yeah, let's not have Kristen Stewart play that role. She can play certain roles. That is not one of them. The Senate says, John Wick is the only good thing this week. Batman, Batwoman, Game of Thrones all suck. I'll definitely say it's the best, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Stevie says, when John Wick started using the armor-penetrating rounds, pure ecstasy. Oh, man. So good. Laura says, Keanu hasn't been given much to do with his roles, much to do about. Yep. Hamlet's Tragedy says, you have any interest in Godzilla 2? It's getting some great press from non-chill types. I admit I'm hyped. I am hyped for it. I think that it could be good. My biggest concern with the newest Godzilla film, King of the Monsters, has been I think that they show too much in the trailer. Because now it's, what do I have to look forward to? I've already seen what the creatures look like. I've already seen some of the I've already seen part of the battle sequences, you know? So, long live the king, says Taylor Potter. Cupcake Geek says, should I watch Godzilla King of the Monsters? How's it looking? It's looking pretty good. So, I would say it's probably worth seeing. I would see John Wick 3 first, though. And obviously, I'll get back to you guys as soon as I have seen. As soon as I have seen that movie. As soon as I have seen it. All right. Tina says, I'm good on that. Sounds good. Sounds good. Megazord Jeremy says, tell Random Dune I don't owe him money. He doesn't owe you any money. Random Nerd, tell Megazord Jeremy he owes me money. Something tells me that y'all are the same account. Study B says, nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows but Jesus. There you go. There you go. There's a little bit right there. Orange Eye Review says, I agree. We need more practical effects. AVP, AVPR were good ones in my opinion because they did the same thing. And they even say as much. We want to go back to practical effects. We need to. It's a lost art. We're getting so caught up in CGI that everything is just getting so crappy. It's getting digital noise. And I can't even look past the digital noise anymore. It's so frustrating. It really is. Senate says, John Wick has 4 fingers now, and he's still kicking ass. That is true. Rosetta Allen says, I am a gun girl, but I have a lot more respect for people who support our rights and admit they don't know everything over anti-gun nuts who just lie constantly about them. Hey, I'm right there with you. Can I support your rights? And I recognize that I am clueless. Tina says, I was joking with you on magazines. I heard you say people ripping on you, and I had to train my trainees about gun terms because we had to know them in forensics. That's right. Tina would know that for sure. Senate says German Shepherd mix is nice. Yep, that's why I love my puppies. And that's for Willow. River is a Australian Shepherd. CW mix that is. CW Tracy says John Wick versus Thanos with Infinity Gauntlet. John Wick, easily John Wick. Come on. Greta Zeno says my German Shepherd is a very smart girl. Yeah, they're so smart. They're so very smart. Rosetta Allen, I didn't think she was as bad as Storm as many did, but I don't think she was great at it either. I think she needs to find her balance, and I hope they did it for her. I agree. I think that as long as she can continue to do films like this, she'll be okay. And yes, Greta, Patricia Arquette. Good God, yes. If you want to see a really cringeworthy performance, watch Patricia Arquette in the movie Boyhood. There's a part where she screams, and it is like nails on a chalkboard. Yet she won an Oscar. So, Senate says the Oscars are whack anyway. That's true. Cupcake Geek says, how much do you think Dark Phoenix will make? Not much. It's already, at this point, it's projected to make very little. I think that it has a chance to bomb. Because think about it, is Disney really wanting to promote that film all that much? Probably not. I mean, obviously they would like to make money, but do they really want to put their eggs in that basket when they're going to put the X-Men on ice for the next 5 years? I don't know. It's a tough sell. Taylor Potter says that musical will sell like hotcakes. Yes. Oh my God. Could you imagine? Laura says Jesse Milestone as Ben Shapiro. Yes. And then I'm the voice of Ben Shapiro. We can do it that way. Laura says, started watching The Expanse thanks to Gary. Great so far. Yeah, The Expanse is pretty good. I've watched a couple episodes with my wife, and we both like it. Cupcake Geek says, when do you think the next League of Nations stream will be? It's a good question. We obviously need one for this month, and so I need to message. It's on my to-do list. Obviously, I have a lot more free time this week because we have exams, and we're not going to have the full days of school like I normally have. So we're going to try and get it planned out. I think that's because we had it on Viv's channel last time. It was on mine the first time. So that means either Julie or Lethal are going to host it. And so we just got to figure out a time because Lethal's like 12 and a half hours difference 15 and a half hours difference or something crazy like that. So he's always the troublemaker. There will be one for May though. We're trying to do that one once a month and we owe one for May. Super. What's going on? Random Notre Doom says, tell Megazord Jeremy he was... Nope, I'm staying out of that argument now. Senate says, I thought the bald chick was going to get shot by John. Yeah, seriously. Rosanna Allen, there is nothing more boring and slow than Melancholia, weirdest slow indie movie ever. I had no interest in seeing that movie. Rosanna Allen says, the problem is will she apologize to the classmates she called racist that she proven to have lied about? Hard to like her because of that. Wait, what? Rosanna Allen? I'm very confused. I am very, very confused. Sticky V says, Halle Berry is just real. That's all. She works in real life to create the best entertainment and gives it her all. She should be awarded for that. And up until this moment, I finally now have that respect for her because she finally actually did that. Megazord says, I think Robert Pattinson would make a good Batman as it is up to the director and how the character is executed. At least it isn't a woke casting. Well, I think the actor plays a part in it, so I wouldn't say that the actor has nothing to do with it. Obviously, directors are important and scripts are important, but I think the actors are just as important too. Super says, no, we're primarily talking John Wick, but if we could go off topic for a hot second, been dying to know what are your thoughts on the remake Game of Thrones petition thing hitting 1 million signatures. I mean, great, but it's a petition. So those types of things are kind of always just non-news for me. I know a lot of other channels have been covering it, but for me, I'm just like, okay, great. What's going to change? All that it does is show how frustrated fans are, but they're not going to remake it. at least not anytime soon. HBO is going to be like, we're finishing this and then moving on. So I'm kind of just like, meh. I don't really care much for it, to be honest. To be perfectly honest. Alrighty, let me go over to my DLive people because I owe them some attention. Captain F8 says, Pattinson can act. I want to see Detective Batman like in the comics. Batman must be a big guy to deal with, not for being super. Pattinson is small. Okay, again, I understand that, but it's not difficult to gain weight. So his size to me is a non-factor because he can put on weight if he needs to. So PY says, okay, peoples, thank you very much, PY, for letting them know that. I appreciate it. CPU says, it's a magazine. Sorry. Bad Hammy. Quick off topic. I have never heard your thoughts on Inception. Is in my top 3 films. I love Inception. I think Inception's great. Air Tropic says, what are your thoughts on South Park? Great show. Love that show. Fantastic show. Hilarious. Very sad that they only do 8-episode seasons now, and they only do it once a year. It's so infuriating. PY says, wow, Odin way behind the YouTube chat. Yep. I finally caught up a bit. PY says, women in New York, if you are looking for a man, wait, they eventually fall from the sky. Just have a trolley ready to pick them. Nice. Well, thank you to my DLive people. I appreciate you guys so much. All right, let's see. Rosetta Allen says, Ledger is a whole different realm. He had the bad boy with the voice and style, even back in 10 Things I Hate About You. Different a lot. Pattinson is too soft, and Soy, it just doesn't fit. Again, I think that we're making similar mistakes. I'm not saying that he would be a perfect person for the role, but I'm not going to totally write him off either until I actually see some test footage. The Senate says, the channel Comic Storian put out a video about John Wick. Apparently, there's a comic about him. I'm not sure how many issues the series is, though. That is interesting. All right, get into my super chats. Let's see. Michael Hand, thank you very much for the $10 super chat. Appreciate it, man. See, love John Wick 3, but I was annoyed by the end. I understand you have to suspend your disbelief with these films, but the last 5 minutes pushed my suspension a little too far. That's my only complaint. And Michael Hand, I respect you, man. Again, I respect your opinion for that, but honestly, I think that because of how they've already established his character and what they've established his character to be, it fits in line with what has been set beforehand. And also, too, because they're able to, push the boundaries and continue the story as well. Kermit the Log, thank you very much for the super chat, says, didn't know you were a Druish princess. Grandmaster Yoda says, I don't know how many episode Batwoman gets, but only sure for one season. Well, here's the thing. Because it's coming out on the CW, that means we will all have access. Every person will have access to those ratings. They're not going to be able to fudge those ratings. And I think that's going to be the telltale sign, because if it makes a bare minimum number, it could get a season 2. It could. But it would have to hit a very bare minimum number. So that is going to be very interesting to see, nonetheless. Taylor Potter says, Dark Phoenix is going to make about Tree Fitty. About Tree Fitty. Yes. Senate says, Keanu can make a good Flashpoint Batman because he uses guns and kills people. He's also Thomas Wayne, not Bruce Wayne. I heard, but yeah, someone already said that. G-Monkeys76 says, I love how they played off John Wick belt later in the movie, and Julie Newmar will always be my Catwoman. Nice. Yes, there were so many great moments in John Wick 3. Rosetta Allen says, Halle Berry claimed years ago that her classmates were anti-mixed race and racist to her. Over 30 people from her school came forward and disproved and showed she was popular then. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know much about that, so I can't really speak to it. I do know that in certain communities, though, to be mixed race is something that is oftentimes mistreated. So, again, maybe someone was misread. I don't know. I'm not going to defend her. I'm not going to go after her. I'm just going to be like, yeah, random nerd. Not going to talk again. I'm not going to get into the middle of y'all's fight. Sasha Neon says, if Unicorn Store was on Mystery Science Theater 3000, would it be tolerable or just needless suffering to Mystery Science Theater fans? I think it'd be tolerable because the jokes would probably be freaking hilarious. Because the jokes would probably be fantastic. The K-Man, thank you very much for the super chat. Just because you are you, Odin. Thank you, K-Man. I appreciate that. Rosetta Allen, Batwoman will get many seasons. Look at the horrid numbers on Supergirl, and they won't kill it because it pushes their agenda. That's a fair point. That is a very fair point. All right, heading back over to my DLive people. Let's see. Autowork says, the name sounds familiar. Relation to Nerdrotic? Yep. Yes, indeed. I'm a mod over on Nerdrotic's channel. I've been on his streams before, and he is a good friend of the channel. Gary is awesome. Aerotropic says, I just learned that John Wick is in the Fortnite universe. Yes, he is. I kind of want to play Fortnite again just to see, but I think it's a skin, and I think you have to pay for those, and I'm not going to pay for that. That's silly. Mr. B-Bye says, by the way, let's see. By the way, where is that? B-Bye says, by the way, we had the election, and we didn't change prime ministers. It was a miracle, even according to the news broadcast. Well, that's fun. That's interesting. Autoworks, thank you for the follow. And, dude, Autoworks, man. Wow. Thank you for the 3 lemon, the 3 ice cream, and the 3 diamonds. Holy crap, dude. Thank you so much. That is so generous, man. Wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really do appreciate that. God, that's awesome. Welcome to the channel. Seriously, welcome to the channel. And thank you so much for your generosity, Autoworks. Let's see. Rotten Trails, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. All right. Heading back over to YouTube's. Orange Hat Review says, I won't judge the past in Batman until I see 3 things. Him in formal attire and a Bruce Wayne haircut, him in a batsuit and a trailer. I try to remain objective when on these things. But here's the other thing, Orange Hat. He is not officially Batman. There is no official word yet. What we have is a leak. If you read the actual article itself that tells us in the headline, New Batman Chosen, it says clearly that it has not been finalized. So they say, our source has confirmed that this has not been confirmed. So basically it just means they have a short list and he's on the short list and he's at like the upper tier of their short list, but he has not officially been given the role or accepted the role. So yeah, how about I will make a judgment when he's actually cast as Batman, because he's not cast as Batman yet. Let's see, Super says, I don't think Season 8 will be remade either, and the dude who made the petition even admits to it. I still think it's hilarious, though. Think it'll impact D&D Star Wars movies? Probably not. I would say that if it impacts them at all, I think that, and obviously this is me thinking very much through rose-tinted glasses, that, you know, because it's going to have to insinuate that they actually care about the Star Wars universe, the people running Star Wars. And I would say the only thing I could see it affecting is them trying to make sure they get a good writer, so that way the writer controls the story and not them. Because if they have a good writer, I think that they can adapt it fine. Look at seasons 1 through 4 of Game of Thrones. Seasons 1 through 4 of Game of Thrones is very good, and it's because they had good writing. It's not because they were the original writers, it's because they were adapting good material. So if they have good material, I think that they'll be okay. Rosetta Allen says, I grew up mixed race, and some people are absolutely bigoted to it. But again, her painting the whole school that way was slander to those who were her friends, at best, badly said. Well, Rosetta, if you can send me that, because I haven't seen it. I don't know how it was cut. I don't know what her words actually were or what the actual truth was, because I wasn't there. The Senate says, the CW is making an animated Deathstroke show on CW Seed. Interesting. Sticky B says, we know John Wick as he is. Imagine what he can do when he is really, really pissed off. Yep. Imagine if he hulked out for reals. Orange Hat Review says the same applies to whomever does get the role. Yep. Agree. Taylor Potter says, have you seen the new trailer for Angel Has Fallen, basically the 3rd installment? Yes, it played before John Wick, and as soon as it started playing, the woman next to me apparently is a giant fan of that franchise, which I don't know why it's still a franchise. It's the franchise with Morgan Freeman as the president, where it's like Olympus Has Fallen and something else has fallen, and now the new one is Angel Has Fallen. Oh my God. I was laughing, and I was very entertained because the woman next to me was like so excited. She was like, yay. And I'm like, really? We're about to see John Wick frickin' 3, and you're excited because there is this, oh God. Orange Hat Reviews says, I got that one already. Grandmaster Yoda says, many YouTubers now start to show off some math that show Endgame can have problems to beat Avatar, and the numbers look scary for Endgame. It looks like it looks like it have crashed in a wall in China. Well, again, by what standards? Because it made a crap ton of money in China. Like, let's just be honest here. It's made a crap ton of money in China. Now, whether it stops making money in China, obviously that is something to talk about. But let me just put it this way. As of today, it's at 2.5 million. That is before Saturday and Sunday's numbers worldwide. It's at 2.5. This is a movie that's gonna, I mean, again, to beat Avatar, it's got to make 2.7, 2.8. It doesn't have to make that much more. Let me go ahead and go to the foreign totals. It's made $601 million in China. Like, let's just be honest here. It's made a crap ton. It has made a crap ton. Because let's see, China opening weekend for it made 175, and then it had a 63% drop, and then it had a 71% drop. And so that's pretty standard when it comes to China films, and it's still playing in most of its theaters. So, as I said, it's making a lot of money. It's probably going to get pretty close to $2 billion alone overseas, because it's still making money in other countries. Like, China's big, but China's also already at $600 million. So let's just do a little math here for a second. Let's say that it craps out in China around 620. Normally, China's about a third of the entirety of the box office, which multiply that by 3. So $6.2 million. So that's 612, 18. So that's 18 points. Sorry, I'm losing my. So yeah, so that would be like 1.9 billion dollars, and that it's already there, which means that it's overperforming in other parts of the world. So it's very likely going to reach the $2 billion mark just in the foreign market. It's still making money domestically. It's going to beat Avatar. Whether or not it makes it to $3 billion, that is the bigger question. Rosetta Allen says, I realize he isn't official. I'm actually trying to be objective and admit I never liked him for me, but I'm very critical at looking at the stats with possible casting. No, I think that we should talk about it, because it's definitely a possibility. It is definitely a possibility that he could be Batman, but he's not yet. Rosetta Allen says, I'll see if I can find it if it's not long. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that, because I would like to know more about it. Rosetta Allen says, I will say I was not shocked at the numbers for Endgame. I'm shocked at how people loved it, that you said, I know where you stand on Avatar. Yeah, I mean, again, as you know, objectively speaking, was not a fan of Endgame, but, it is what it is. All right, heading back over to my D-Live people. So I bully women. That's not very nice. So no thanks for the follow. Don't need you. AutoWorks says, I follow a bit Gary's YouTube channel. Happy to meet you, AutoWorks. Thank you very much for following. I appreciate it, man. Gary is awesome. Gary is fan-freaking-tastic. I see someone got muted over there, so thank you, mods, for all of your amazing work. Bad Hammy, thank you very much for the lemon. Oi, what's going on? And no one has tagged me yet, so so again, if you want to get my attention, please tag me at Odin over on DLive, and I will get to you then. All right, let's see. Tina. Let's see. Tina says, that woman was likely excited because it's Gerard. This is Sparta Butler, kind of like Jason Aquaman Momoa. That's a good point. That is a good point. She was probably excited for that reason. Rosetta Allen says, more yammering from this woman like crap. You bully women. You have given me a place of sanity when I am stressed. One of my favorite online folks. Well, Rosetta Allen, thank you very much. I appreciate that. The Rise of Chulo. Thank you very much for the Streamlabs donation. Guys, if you don't want to support YouTube, if you want to surpass YouTube and, support content creators, because YouTube takes a giant cut, you can donate through Streamlabs. You can find the link to it in the description, but also the Valks will post it. Sometimes Heimdall will post it too. So the Rise of Chulo for the $5 donation says, I will make my judgment now about Twilight Batman. No! But John Wick was amazing. Hey, again, I think that there is definitely precedent to say that he wouldn't work out, but I've seen him in other roles, and I know that he has some potentiality. So, but yeah, thank you very much, man. And yeah, John Wick is awesome. Let's see, Peabody says, 2 boots. 2 people got booted. Interesting. Peabody says, yes, peoples, you have to tag Odin by typing Odin. Yeah, just put at Odin, and then I'll see it pop up as such, and then I'll know that you're contacting me. If not, then yeah, talk to each other in the chat. Keep the chat going, because guys, if you keep the chat going over there, that helps the chest get built up, and then at the end of the stream, when I distribute it, you'll have a better chance of getting some Lino from it. So, but you control that. I have no control over that because of the way the new system works, which I hate, by the way. I think the new Lino system sucks. Hail Odin, what's up? Cupcake Geek says, what's the most annoying person you've had in a cinema encounter with? Oh man. There was a time when I was going to see, I want to say it was Orphan, and there was a couple we were in the back row on the left side, and there was a couple on the middle to right side, and they were just hooping and hollering the entire time. And so one of my friends leaned over and says, could you please shut up? And it almost got really out of hand. As far as my own personal, as far as just me, I'm usually not the kind of person that likes to interact or likes to, start a confrontation. But my most annoying hit always remains whenever there's someone next to me that is talking, because it is so distracting. I have ADD, and I just want to focus on the movie. And if I can't focus on the movie, then I get very, very upset. So I don't really have any fun stories when it comes to that, at least none coming to the top of my head. I do remember I used to work at a theater. I used to be a supervisor at a theater, and there was a time when the movie theater was so bad. It was filled with teenagers because we had a curfew at 9. And so normally what the teenagers would do is they would buy the last showing, the last movie ticket they could get, and then they would just float from theater to theater, hanging out with their friends. They weren't even watching the movie. They were wasting time and money, their parents' money, doing nothing. And so one time it was like 50% of the theater were these kids, and it got so bad that we got complaints after complaints. We had to shut the movie down. And so the way it happened was we went in the theater and we told people, if you leave, you can't come back in and you're not getting a refund. And so then it got so bad we had to turn the lights on. We had to basically barricade off the theater going straight towards the exit and be like, get the hell out. It was awful. And then another time there was a party bus. So party buses would sometimes come by, and basically it was like 50 kids, teenagers, and one adult. And then the adult would try and buy tickets for all the kids. And sometimes it was them buying it with like 1,000 different credit cards. So not only did it back up the box office, but then it got insane. So one time when this happened, though, they all came inside the theater, and then they decided to mob. And they decided just to jump the ropes. And because it was so many of them, the cops that were there could only do so much. It was so bad. It was insane. So yeah, I don't miss that. And ever since then, anytime a party bus would come up, we'd have to radio someone immediately saying, hey, there's a party bus outside. And we would have managers go straight to the car and be like, you cannot come here. Unless you have one adult for every 5 kids, you cannot come, because it got that bad. And so sometimes we had to turn them away. And we're like, we don't want your business because you're going to cause too much chaos. Oh, man. Yeah, it got pretty bad. But bear. Hello. Rosetta Allen says, sidetrack for a second. When am I getting some info on what jewelry and art to make for you and your wife? Thank you again for reminding me. Email me, please, because I've totally forgotten because things have gotten so crazy. Rosetta Allen says, I am the one who will start a confrontation. I can't stand rude people. I don't like confrontation. I feel like George McFly from Back to the Future. I just can't stand confrontation. I am totally George McFly in so many ways. Soul Assassin says, saw Pokemon a few hours before John Wick and enjoyed the movie. Thanks for the heads up on the global warming part. Gave my Pokemon cards to a kid in front of me. Soul Assassin, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, I still have mine. I think they're so cool. And in fact, you know what? I just started, so you can download emulators for your smartphone and stuff. So I just downloaded an emulator a couple days ago. And so I've been playing Pokemon Red. I've been playing the Pokemon trading card game, which is funny because I never played the trading card game in real life. But when they made a video game version of it, I'm like, oh, so that's how you play it. It's much easier when it's all in a little game. But it's maybe be like, oh, yeah, this is great. So, yeah, I still have mine. I got my Bulbasaurs and my Detective Pikachus, holographic. I think they're cool. Collectibles. You know me. And, yeah, it's great. And seriously, other than that one global warming line, it's again, great. The Senate says, I saw Thor Ragnarok in theaters and 3 other people kept talking and screaming. I'm like, what are you, 5 years old? That kind of pissed me off. I told them to shut the F up. It got heated in there. Oh yeah, it gets heated sometimes. And I'll talk to people who I'm there with. Like if someone I know is saying something, I'll lean over and be like, dude, shut up. I'll cause a scene then. But normally I've never had a situation where that's been the case. I've never had when the person's kicking the seat and stuff. That's never really happened to me. It's happened to my friends and they've gotten heated, but not me. Mad Mitch says, been there, bro. Hated the late shows. God, the late shows were so bad. And we had to change our entire system just for them. Peabody says, you have the best mows on YouTube. Love to the girls. I have enough trouble on DLive hanging up with 22. Huge hugs. Oh, mods. The best mods. I was like, mows? Oh, the best mods. Yeah, man. I know. Seriously, right? I need to start modding up some people over there. Kim Can Park. Congratulations, you're a mod. Kim Can is a good person. So Kim Can's now a mod. Now you have a little bit of help over there. Flames, chest is over 5. It is over 5, but I want to build it up a little bit more so that way I'm going to flame it up at the end. Yeah, I'm going to flame it up. I'm going to open it up at the very end. So, Poppy Den says, when I saw John Wick 2, someone brought their newborn baby. Oh, that's the worst. I will say that's the worst. When you're at a rated R film at night and someone brings in their baby. There's actually rules and restrictions at the theater I worked at where They were literally parents. And I remember I worked at the ticket booth. This is before I was a supervisor, when I was working my way up. I was at the ticket booth, and there was a woman trying to bring in her infant to a rated R film, and I said, there are no infants allowed into rated R movies after 6 p.m. And she was so upset because she was just like, but I'm her mom. I'm the mom. I get to decide. And we're like, no, you don't. This is a private business, and we don't want your little baby, who shouldn't be in there in the first place because you're a terrible parent. Obviously, I couldn't say that. But we said, it's all about trying to make sure that these movies don't get interrupted by kids. We want to make sure that rated R films are for adults and adults only, and try to limit the amount of interactions and stuff. So, man, that's frustrating, though. Peabody says, wow, Doc, this is heavy. Weight has nothing to do with it. Peabody says, we can see your comments. If you want Odin to read them, you have to tag him. Yeah, I mean, I can see them. It just helps me out because there's just so much going on. It's a very, very simple request. It's a very simple request from a simple man. Peabody, sorry, this is the next to the D? The next to the D? What? What are you talking about? Air Tropic says, what are your thoughts on what happened with James Charles? Are you talking about on YouTube? I don't follow it. The guy looked like an ass. He looked like a stuck-up asshat, and so he was losing subs. Great. Fine. I don't really care much about that. Patrick Maduff says, what's your favorite South Park episode? Ooh. I will say I love the 2008 election episode because it makes fun of everybody. And that's why I love the show. It's not Republican. It's not Democrat. It's just, let's make fun of everyone. We don't care what your political affiliation is, and that's why it's great. Air Tropic says, also when I was 12, I watched the John Wick movie because my parents didn't think much of it. Ooh, man. Ooh. Might need some responsible parenthood over there. Peabody says, the S is next to the D? What? Peabody, you're speaking in code, and I don't, sorry, the S is next to the D? I'm so confused. What? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Let's see. All right, heading back over to my YouTube peeps. Rosetta Allen says, that is such crap. People like that cause problems for people with serious medical or BR needs. I've had those experiences where I wasn't going to be allowed back in for going to the NEB. And again, it was because of nonsense. It wasn't because, and I felt bad because there were some people who honestly wanted to watch the movie, and we just, when it's so many people in there, we can't tell who is being an ass and who isn't. It was so hard. We had to turn the lights on and everything, turn everything off. Slash Neon says, is what happened to King's Landing a prophetic reenactment of the fans outside of the HBO building? Probably. Node Fun says, if I look at someone and they are being rude, my look alone is enough to shut them up. That's why I'm Bear. Yeah, if I was ever on the same level and made eye contact, I would probably have the same effect, even though if they ever started talking to me, they'd realize, he's just a softie. Because people think, it's so funny when people talk to me after they get to know me, and then one of the first things they say is, when I first met you, I thought that you were really mean, and I was really scared of you. And I was like, why? And they were like, I don't know. It's because you look angry, and you had the beard, and just, I don't know. It's really funny to hear that. Rosetta Allen says, I was 2 when my mom said I beat up the bully that was beating my older siblings. I am a rowdy troublemaker, and I admit it. That's awesome. Soulsat says, sometimes it gets weird at the movie theater. I saw a dude slam a beer bottle on another dude for talking too much. Took me right out of Kong. Yeah, I can imagine that would take you out of the movie. God, man. The Senate says, I got on a party bus once. The loud noise hurts my ears and the people out there are obnoxious. Yeah, I've never been on a party bus, and I never will. Rosetta Allen says, sorry in advance if I vanished. The lights just flickered several times, and the house is shaking from the thunder. Well, I hope everything is okay. Stay safe. Taylor Potter says, I haven't been into Pokemon in a long time, but I have been wondering, is the new Pokemon movie worth watching? Yes. If you are a Pokemon fan especially, yes. There are so many great callbacks for fans of the games and the show. I think it's great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The Senate says, I have an emulator on my phone. I've been playing Mario Bros, Mortal Kombat 3, and 4, and the new Super Mario Bros. It's so fun. So good. In fact, I just got the, the BitBoy. Apparently, there's a newer version of the BitBoy that's actually going to have, it's going to be a layout similar to a Game Boy Advance. And so I just bought that recently. And that's going to come out in June is when they said that new model is coming out. So I'm very excited to be able to, to actually have physical buttons to play it on. Because that's the one thing I miss. I would have done it, I would love to do it because I do have a DS. But you have to buy the games that are there. and they're charging way too much for them. But then also, too, there's no way to get the games on there otherwise. To me, I think that they should just say, here is the arcade, and you get to play them for free in the cloud. Like, I don't know. I feel like those games you've made enough money to pay back for those games at this point that, if you buy a DS, you should be able to, And I don't support pirating. I don't support that at all. But, when you're going to charge an arm and a leg for certain things, then, allegedly, I might have to find another way. Because I do own them. I do own them. I just don't know where they are. And obviously my Game Boy doesn't work anymore. Super says, saw Detective Pikachu, thought it was good and fun, but it was a bit lacking in action for me. Well, yeah, it's a PG film. So I kind of forgave it for that. The world building visual effects were on point though. Yeah, I loved it. I thought Pokemon was good. I thought Detective Pikachu was a very, very good movie. It's very well done. Rosanna Allen says, actually movie theaters can damage the ears of the baby before the age of 2. That's a good point. It's a very good point. Megazord Jeremy says, I want a John Wick figure so that he could fight my Neo figure, then have them get back. Yeah, if I ever were to get another action figure, I would love to have a John Wick one. I love John Wick so much. I need to start looking into some John Wick merch. God, it's so good. Rosetta Allen says, ironically, that was my favorite Simpsons for his 2008 election, mocking everyone. Then it went hard left. Yeah, Simpsons just went so off the deep end. South Park has always been the same. It has always been consistently middle of the road, and that's why I love it. Taylor Potter says, my all-time favorite South Park episodes are the 3-part episodes of Imagination Land. That's a good one. Sticky V, if there was one thing you could change about the John Wick universe, what would it be? Guns. Even more guns. I would say they're not much. Really, I can't think of much except to have them all be as crisp and clean as the first film. Same action sequences and story elements, but just cleaner and crispier. Mikey Martinez says, did you like John Wick 3 better than 2? I thought it was better than the other 2 in terms of action. Yeah, I said that in the very beginning, and I know, Mikey, I think you came in a little bit late. The way that I rank it is that John Wick 1 has the best as far as it being a coherent movie. I think all the pieces and parts flow very well together, and it's just, I think, the best at doing that out of all 3 of them. 2 has the best story. I think it does the best job at kind of expanding the universe, and it's great. 3 has the best action sequences, but all 3 are solid. All 3 are great and better than, the vast majority of other crappy things that are coming out these days. Rosetta Allen says, honestly, they think you look mean because the old day Viking stereotypes. That's probably true. The Senate says, my parents let me watch John Wick at 15 because. Soul Assassin says, obey the beard. Yes, obey it. Orange Hat Reviews says, I once remember hearing about a theater in the UK over 13 people having seizures during Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 2. One scene had so much flashing they didn't warn anyone. Yeah, I've heard about that with other films too, and it's very irresponsible on their part. Peabody says, the S is next to the D on the keyboard. Most was a typo. Okay, Peabody, sorry. You know that there's 1,000 things coming at me, so context is something that I always need to have. Sajanian says, who will be at the Nerdronic post-disaster stream? I would love to be there. If he invites me on, I would love to be on that stream because him and Doomcock have so much fun. I'll be watching at least for a part of it because I do have exams the next day. But they're just exams, so I don't nearly have to sleep as much. Rosetta Aaron says, to what Orange Hat said, Cloverfield and Incredibles 2 and the Pokemon series also cause random seizures as well. Really? That's interesting. Yeah, those should always have warnings. Cupcake Geek says, are you doing a stream tomorrow? I don't have any plans on doing an official stream on my channel. I think, no, there's a stream I'm doing streams with other channels, but we're still working out those figures completely. But I don't have plans at this point to do a stream tomorrow. But if I do, I'll let you know. If I do, it'll probably be on either just Twitch or just DLive or one of those platforms to try and build up. Star Wars Girl, what's going on, Anna? How's it going? Anna says, I haven't seen it yet. Go see it, Anna. Lord, you call yourself a fan? Go see it. It's great. Cupcakey says, still loving the podcast. Cupcakey, thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, guys, I do upload all of my live streams as podcasts. Go follow them over on Google Play, on iTunes, on Stitcher, on all the podcast sites. And you can find it as Welcome to Asgard is the name of the podcast. And it's all the live streams. Grandmaster Yoda says, a news website over here posted the Game of Thrones episode 5 was copied from a part of The Simpsons in 2017. Interesting. Star Wars Girl says, Odin, come on with me and Jeremy. Oh, is that why people are leaving my stream? Because you're on right now? Or is this for tomorrow? Are you on right now? Resident Allen says, stream with Anna. I might. Is that what's going on right now? I'm about 9 minutes away from my stream ending. So give me about 5 minutes and then I'll start wrapping things up. All right, let's see. 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 Rosetta Alan says, stream with Anna. I know. Tina says, did you see Anna's invite to you? I see that. She said, come on with her and Jeremy, that Star Wars girl. I will. I'll be over there tomorrow. What time tomorrow? Tell me more. Like, does he have a car? Sticky B says, any plans for a future live stream with Julie? The more I follow her, the more I love her. Julie is awesome. Well, we do a stream together once a month. It's called the League of Nations. So it's me, her, Hey Viv, and also Lethal Lightning. So that will be coming up over the next couple weeks. Because school is ending for me, I'll be able to fix my schedule a little bit more than usual. All right, tomorrow, says Star Wars Girl. I should be able to tomorrow. Just message me the time, and then I can check with the wife, check with my schedule, because I do have rehearsal tomorrow. And as I mentioned earlier in the stream, I got cast as the lead, so I kind of have to go. But I'm definitely open. Let's see. Laura says, I don't see Jeremy or Anna live yet. Okay, yeah, so that stream's going to be tomorrow. Jeremy knows the info, says Anna. Thank you. Megazord Jeremy says, you're an angry Viking Santa Claus. Nice. All right, heading over to my D-Live peoples. Don't worry, I did not forget about my D-Live peeps. Let's just see. Where did I leave off, my friends? Captain F. says, South Park favorite episode is City Chicken. Yes, that is a good one. That is a very good one. Peabody says, I typed most instead of mods. I know, that's why I corrected you. That's why I got it. Bad Hammy says, not seeing Wick 3 until next week, but do any dogs get hurt? So, spoiler warning, I guess, no dogs die. Huh? No dogs die. Air Tropic says, what's your favorite Pokemon? Ooh, that's a tough one. My favorite starter Pokemon was always Charmander. Always started off with Charmander in Pokemon Red. Loved that one. I also really liked Farfetch'd. I don't know why, but I liked Farfetch'd. So I guess Charmander, and then up until Charizard. Pretty good. Pretty good. Peabody says Julie and Odin are cosmic twins. That is very true. All right, those are the only people over on D-Live that had tagged me in there. So Tina says, same schedule for next weekend, which is Memorial Day weekend here in the States. Should be. Obviously, if things change, I will let you guys know. As far as like the main channel stuff, those will be pretty consistent. But with summer coming around, I am trying to plan some earlier streams. And also because I'm doing this show, there's going to be some days that I have rehearsals at night on Monday and Tuesday. So there might be some time changes for a couple of them. But I'm planning on trying to add some more streams during the day. So for any of my UK people, for any of my people on the weird times, or people who really want to have an early morning stream or just a morning stream, those should be coming over the summer. So stay tuned for more. Laura says, I think we can group people into party bus and non-party bus people. Yep. Yes, we can. Cupcake Geek says, do you do musical theater, Odin? I do. I've been doing theater since 1999. In fact, at the place that I do theater, it's my 20th year. I've been with this place for 20 years. My first show was in 99. I've done 18 shows because one year, Katrina, we didn't have a show. And then after that, there was one show I skipped because I was doing swimming and a lot of other activities, and I just couldn't dedicate time to it. Megazord Jeremy says, would John Wick make a good Pokemon trainer? Yeah, because he cares. Here's the other thing, too. Guess who gets to pet his dog? Guess who shows love and affection to his dog? John Wick. Guess who doesn't? Lord Snow, future king of the realm, possibly, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, at least John Wick pets his dog. At least John Wick loves his dog. Unlike some people over in King's Landing. That's all I'm going to say. There's no shade being thrown there at all. Grandmaster Yoda says, July feels so long away. I know, Grandmaster Yoda, because the Alita Blu-ray, guys, for anyone that's been wondering about that, it comes out July 23rd. I know. So long, so far away. July 23rd is when the 4K comes out. No pre-orders yet, but as soon as the pre-order goes live, I will be posting those links. Orange Hat says, I remember Farfetch'd had the most HM range originally, also as a trade Pokemon great. Exactly. He got stronger faster than all the others. He was able to learn a lot of moves, and I think that's the reason why I liked him a lot. He was actually very powerful in battle, especially when it came to certain Indigo Road. He became very important person. Rosetta Allen says, no one could pay me enough to get on a party bus. No, never, nada, a prayer. Yeah, same here. Shop poopy, the girl whose heart it gets. Because of Family Guy, I can only ever think of that, of Peter Griffin singing that song. Soul Assassin says, are you going to Hollywood and to be in John Wick 5? That'd be awesome. That'd be great. No, I do it for fun. Just like with YouTube, I do it for fun. I don't do it professionally. I just do it because I'm having a blast doing it, and I love it. Rosetta says, singing, now that you're here so far away. Oh, now that you're here, you're so far away. At first I was like, what song is that again? Oh, wait, I remember that song. Let's see. Alex McCarthy says, sneaking in during my Twilight marathon with the wife to say howdy and thank you very much. Oh my God, Alex McCarthy, I feel so bad for you. You're watching a Twilight marathon, but of course we do the things we love for the wife. So to me, that's the equivalency of kicking Bran out of the window in season 1 of Game of Thrones is watching Twilight. If I had to compare it to something, it would be that. So thank you very much, Alex McCarthy. Senate says, what's the best Pokemon game you can get on an emulator? I personally, again, I'm old school. Pokemon Red is my favorite. Yellow is cool because you can get more Pokemon, and there's a couple of added things that you can do with that one compared to the others. But I'm an originalist, so Pokemon Red is awesome. I love Pokemon Red. Megazord Jeremy, Detective Pikachu is the only time I want to hug Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is so good in it. He makes that movie. Rosanna Allen, yes, I am a total weird with taste all over the spectrum in terms of rock and metal. P.S. Twilight sucks. It sucks. It really, really sucks. It does. It does. I'm right there with you, too. I'm all over the place. All over the place. All over the place, indeed. Indeed. Brad says 132 is his ranking. I would go for John Wick. I would actually probably go 213. Overall, if I had to go overall movie, I'd go 213. I think. You see, that's just the thing. I don't like ranking it because here's the thing. I don't find them to be different movies. They're the same movie, different chapters, different parts. It does the story very well because it literally picks up exactly where it left off. It doesn't try and do the, 5 years later, or, we're just making this because we have to fill time. It's, hey, this is the natural progression of the story. So I don't really like ranking them as such because they're the same movie, but I can say which one has better action, which one has better writing, etc. So yeah, I won't go anywhere else with that. Before Ghost, thank you very much for the lemon. I appreciate it. Air Tropic says, John Wick versus the Iceman Killer. Who would win? John Wick, of course. Papa 10 says, I wonder if Alita will have the OVA with it from the late 80s. That could be cool. Fat Elba says, hoping to have Alita as the first movie in the theater I'm building. Nice. Very, very cool. Yep. Very, very cool. I have my Blu-ray collection behind me, and I would love to add that as one of my 4Ks. I don't have many 4K titles, but Alita is for sure going to become a title, no question about it. Mr. Peabody says, last party bus I was on 28 years ago broke down in the middle of 5-lane freeway and got hit by cars. Holy crap, that's insane. AutoWorks, dude, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for the 2 lemons, the 2 ice cream, and the 2 diamonds. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And Patrick Duff says, do you watch Markiplier? Markiplier! Not anymore. I used to. It's not because I don't want to. I just don't have time. I do like Markiplier's work. Bad Hammy says, have you sold the house yet? Nope. We just shifted it over to a agent, so we're hoping that once the agent is picking up that it's going to be a lot faster. All right, I'm going to start to wrap things up, guys, so let me head over back to my YouTube peeps to finish things up. Laura says, the wife has Be a Man on her iTunes. Laugh every time it plays. Thank you very much. Be a man. That's such a good song, though. You must be swift as the coursing river, with all the force of the great typhoon. God, I love that song. Somehow I'll make a man out of you. So good. So good. Megazord says, what if Detective Pikachu and Deadpool had a buddy cop movie? Who would be the good cop and who would be the bad cop? Both of the ants. Deadpool will be both. And Pikachu will be on the side like, what? Rosanna Allen says, if you get a chance, check out Zifia, weird mythology fairy tales, so symphonic rock and metal. Send it my way. Cupcake Geek says, are you still excited for MIB International? As excited as I can be. I mean, again, I think they have good chemistry together, so I'm looking forward to it. Orange Hat Review says the best way to look at John Wick movies are to look at them as one movie that is 6 hours. Exactly. It's one movie, one continuous story, and it's great. Senate, John Wick versus Jon Snow, swords only. John Wick. See, Trixie says, how about a Pokemon version of The Hobbit starring Pikachu Baggins? Yes. Soul Assassin says, can you imagine if Robert Pattinson does play Batman and sparkles when the bat signal hits him? If they did that, I would actually laugh. To be perfectly honest, that would be so funny. Because at that point, I would be like, all right, you've honestly don't care. Megazord says, John Wick Chapter 4, John Wick fights SJWs and Nazis. Wouldn't that be something? Grandmaster Yoda says, I don't know what it is with me, but where many stop care about Alita CG phase because it was well done, I just see it all the time and enjoy it and want more. Again, I'm right there with you, too. I lose sight of the fact that it's CG. It's done very well. It really is. John Early says, the Bourne Identity, the Bourne Supremacy, the Bourne Ultimatum on the same level of John Wick Trilogy. John Wick Trilogy kicks those movies' asses. No, John Wick is on a different level, John Early. John Wick is better. Super says, gotta bounce. I'm gonna bounce myself. Rosetta Allen says, I'll try to message you later. Gonna go pass out. Was up all night. Well, Rosetta Allen, you have a good night. AutoWorks, thank you again so much for that support. Appreciate it. Peabody says, have a Blu-ray for you. Send soon. Red Dog. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Troxin Ramazan, thank you for the follow. Aerotropic says, do a Filthy Frank impression. I don't know Filthy Frank. AutoWorks says, I maybe missed this, but has Gary any plans on streaming on DLive? Yes, he does, but he needs my help getting it set up. So we still have not been able to figure out how to... Our timings are all over the place because he's 2 hours difference, and we're trying to find time to come together. But unfortunately, it's just been impossible for us to schedule. Now that I'm going to have more free time, though, with school ending, I'm going to have a little bit more time to try and help him get set up on DLive. He wants to do DLive. He wants to do Restream, which is what I do. So that way I can stream to DLive, YouTube, etc. So I'm going to get him set up with that as soon as I possibly can. But it's me kind of waiting on him or vice versa to have some free time. Poppyton, thank you for the 6 lemons. I really do appreciate that. Let's see. Anna says, never seen the Bourne movies. They're okay. The first one's good, and then from there, they're okay. They do have practical effects and fighting. I just think there's more quick cuts in that. I think John Wick's better. John Wick vs. Alien, says Megazord. John Wick. Cupcake Geek, you have a good night. I appreciate it. All right, so Lou, don't worry. Thank you very much, Lou, for the donation. Man. Thank you for surpassing the evildoers over on YouTube and for not allowing them to take a penny of your donation. Thank you for the $3 fitted. Thank you for the tree fitted, Lou. And he says, hey, mate, how's your day been? The day has been good. We are into the night, and I'm smelling some delicious tacos because my wife just cooked, and it smells delicious, and I need to go eat them. Let's see. Airtropic says, got any advice for bad friends? Give me a little bit more context on that, and then I will. But let me give a huge shout-out to my patrons. A Great Jedi, Adam Shawhan, Robertus Magnus, Baptist702, Brian P., Chicago Joe 47, Dan Maloney, Darkstar 57, Delete System 32, Dion, Edward Coleman, Enrique Evangelista, Entertainment Hacker, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, the Hunka Chunka Funka Monkey, Inflamed Wood, Airdrop Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, Jonathan Jerembeck, Laura Story, Matthew Kadish, Mitch Dunaway, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin, Outpost Dyer, Perpetual Punster, Projar Sarif, Proper Ginevra, Reef Magos, Shenglong, Sir Lance Alato, Teodora, the K-Man, the DJD Show, those 2 ball guys, and Tina B. And also, for the one person who is a subscriber over on Subscribestar, I have 1 subscriber on Subscribestar now. So Brandon Blick, thank you very much for being a Subscribestar supporter. Appreciate it. I'm still on mute, says Steph. Really? Let's see. The Senate says the entire Marvel and DC universe versus John Wick with powers. John Wick with powers, easily, man. Grandmaster Yoda says, I will love Batman, interrupt Batwoman, and put her to shame in stealing his gear. Now, that would be fantastic. That would be great. Holy crap. AutoWorks says, thank you. Been a pleasure putting a beard to the name. Well, thank you, AutoWorks. I appreciate that, man. And thank you for 2 lemons, 2 ice cream, and 2 diamonds. Holy crap. Air Tropics over on DLive says, like friends that don't really care about you, but you still don't know if they are really bad friends. Well, basically this. If your friends don't care about you, then to me, they're not really your friends. Friends are people who care for each other. Friends are there for each other, even during rough times. I would say that if you don't feel like there are certain people in your life that are worth your time, like that if there's someone who is not going to have your back, but you will have their back, they're not a good friend. And I would say, wipe your hands. That would be me. That would just be me personally. All right, guys. So DLive, I'm gonna go ahead and open up this chest for you, but I'm gonna go ahead and let's see. I can't donate to myself. I know that. I was trying to do something else. Boom. Log in. Continue. because we've had a lot of people donate tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to boost up this chest a little bit. I'm going to boost up this chest a little bit. All right. Boom. Continue. There we go. All right. So I'm about to open up the chest, guys. Remember to try and get a piece of the pie, you got to claim it when it goes live. All right. So the chest is being opened in 3, 2, and boom. All right. So go ahead and claim away, and I wish you good luck. Some of you might not get anything, unfortunately, but that is unfortunately the way things go. So you got about 20 seconds on that. Twins TZ, thank you for the follow over on DLive. Neon, typical toxic male bragging about the size of his chest. Damn right, man. I got to try enough. Twins TZ, thank you for the lemon. Appreciate it. And I'm going to stay on up until the chest gets distributed so I can shout out those who win. 5 seconds left on the chest. 5 left on the chest. So AutoWorks, congratulations on the 24 Lino, Poppy 10 with 14, Peabody with 10, the K-Man with 8.6, Bad Hammy with 7.4, and some of you might have gotten something else from it. So you are awesome. Thank you. And hope that you got something from it. If you're active in the chat, you had a better chance of getting anything. So yeah. Oh man, we got some donations coming in right now. So Captain Fed, thank you for the 5 lemons. AutoWorks, thank you for the 2 ice cream. AutoWorks, thank you for the 4 lemons. Poppy 10, thank you for the 4 lemons. Patrick Duff, the reason why you got nothing is because you only put in the chat like a couple times. So you need to stay active in the chat in order to increase your luck, and that's how you gain. And then as soon as you see the chest option goes up, you have to click on the claim option. Otherwise, it's not just going to give you anything. So the K-Man, thank you for the lemon, man. Appreciate that very, very much. All right, guys, so that is going to be it for me. To all the people that donated on DLive, to all the people that donated over on the YouTubes, thank you so much. Seriously, you're all amazing and beautiful people. I am hungry. I want some tacos. They smell delicious. And you are all amazing, beautiful people. So tomorrow I might be streaming over on Geeks and Gamers or that Star Wars Girls channel. Go check out both their channels because they're awesome. And go check out Gary's channel, Nerdrata, because I'm trying to get him on the. I'm trying to get him on the channel, because I really want to do a stream with him to talk about especially Game of Thrones and everything. But also, I need to try and get him set up and hooked up with everything else. So, K-Man, thank you. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. You're all amazing, beautiful people. And as always, God bless. And Steph, hi. And guys, because this is obviously a spoiler-filled John Wick thing, don't worry, everyone. John Wick survives, and there will be more John Wick movies. So, you're welcome, Steph. All right, see you later.